with everything that does seem to be unraveling, then I mean you're a big proponent for optimism as well. So in a kind of a business sense, in a trend sense, so yeah, how and why do you think people should kind of grasp and be optimistic?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm not a natural optimist at all. I mean, I tend towards a cynical. You spend enough time like looking at trends and signals, it's quite easy to fall into the trap of pessimism. What I have realized through my education, because I've trained in both foresight at an academic level and also in economics, is this understanding that our expectations shape our reality in very fundamental, very tangible ways. This is because what we expect changes our actions, and our actions determine the future that we get. It's as simple and as complicated as that. So to use a great example in South Africa in this sort of unraveling time that we're in, you're concerned about the future of South Africa's politics. So what do? You call up your financial advisor and you say, take all my money offshore. I put it in a dollar-based money market account. Well, that's great, but your actions have now just taken much needed capital outside of South Africa's stock exchange, outside of the pension funds that were investing in building and retail projects locally, and you've taken it offshore, and now American industries are going to have access to that pooled capital to build and invest in their infrastructure. So by taking a sort of a pessimistic approach, you have now increased the odds of what you feared coming to pass. So your expectations create the future. Conversely, if you are then optimistic in practice, even if you're not optimistic on the inside, and you say, I actually want my community to thrive, what is an act of optimism? A simple act of optimism is buying a house in a suburb, right? You're committing to sort of 30 years in a particular patch of land, right? That's an act of optimism. But it's not a foolhardy act, because by simply purchasing that, you've now bought a stake in that community, you invested in looking after that community, and you are likely to contribute to the health of that community. Same with acts of optimism in terms of business. Opening a business is an act of optimism. Investing in anything with your time or with your cash or capital is an act of optimism. So that for me, I think is quite a critical lesson for business leaders, and particularly business leaders in South Africa, is that those small acts of optimism, even if you feel a bit pessimistic, are not foolhardy, they're not irresponsible, rather they are directly contributing to creating new virtuous cycles, right?